Do you have a cook system as part of your emergency preparedness bug out bag? There are two reasons why I do. The first is I want the ability to be able to purify water by boiling it. The second is the option to have a warm meal. In this video, I'm going to walk through a simple, budget-friendly cook kit and show you what elements to look for, and along the way, we'll prepare a meal. Stay tuned. You just got to get prepared. Being prepared to evacuate our homes in an emergency situation is something that no one wants to do, but it's something that we should all be ready to do. One of the things that you might want to have with you is a cooking system. It doesn't have to be expensive or fancy, it just needs to work. This particular kit is intended for one person. It could easily do two, and then I guess it could be adapted for more if needed. Years ago, I put a kit like this together for each one of my kids. Something they could use on their outdoor adventures, and then when it wasn't being used, they could store it in their bug out bag. It cost me about $40 to put this kit together because I was buying each of the individual pieces. At the time, I thought that was a pretty good deal. As I was planning out this video to share with you today, I was on Amazon and I found a very similar option for $18.19, plus the cost of a fuel container. That's a good deal. You'll find this product on Amazon branded under a lot of different names. This particular one that I'm going to share with you today is the G4 Free. I'll leave a link down below if you're interested in checking it out on Amazon. Let's take a closer look and see what we're getting for $18.19. So when we open this thing up, we got this nice little mesh bag that it comes with, which is great for keeping everything together. Inside of here, we start out by just noticing that there is this lid or a cup. I like to think of it as a mug. So that's one of the elements. Excuse me. It is approximately 2 cups or 16 ounces in size for the volume that it will hold. There's a couple different pieces here. This is the stove, and it's not a bad little stove. You can buy this stove separately on Amazon for $10 to $12. It actually gets really good reviews. It's a very simple little stove. It just kind of unfolds like this, and there's a locking part like that, and it has this little sparker so that it can light itself, and these little feet on it to help hold a larger pot on top of it. So it's actually a pretty cool stove. And then a little storage container. Other things inside of the pot are there's a little wooden spatula spoon, this little scouring type thing, a ladle that I don't think I'll ever use, and then there are 3 little cups or plates that I guess you could use if you'd like to. The other part that I was really after or looking for is this pot. This is a 4-cup or 32 ounces or 1 liter size pot. And one thing that I really like about it are the measurements here on the side. So when you're actually using it, you can see how much liquid is in there and be able to pour things off and be able to measure from this. And so you don't have to carry an additional measuring cup or any device like that. And so these are the items. Oh, I forgot one thing. There's this little bag here. And this had some fun little things in it too. There is a carabiner, which I think they showed it in a picture hanging from your backpack. There's also a knife, a fork, and a spoon, and all of these are foldable. And then they've got a little connection there so that you can have a fork and a spoon and a knife. And so there are actually a lot of things included for our $18.19. Although I appreciate their generosity, I don't really want everything that they've given me. Some of the things that I'm going to put into this kit are the big pot and the little pot. I want the stove and the fork, or excuse me, the spoon. And I do want this mesh bag. Everything else here, I'm going to get rid of. So part of the reason why I needed to get rid of all of those things is I need a place to be able to put my fuel canister. And because this is the item that's not included in the kit. You can pick these up around town. They're the isobutane propane mix canisters. They're between $5 to $10. This particular size is the 8-ounce size. And what's really cool about the design of this big pot is that you can actually take this canister and place it inside of there like that. So that now that's taking up a lot of space, And so we don't really have room for all of those other things that we got rid of. Now that we have our kit simplified down, let's take a look at the stove. This stove works, like I said, with these little canisters. And take off the lid, save that because we don't want to get inside of this dirty. So make sure you keep an eye on your lid. You can put it back in your bag. And this little stove, it just twists right on to the end of the canister there. Now, as you start to put it on, make sure that the control valve here is turned in the off position so that we don't have any gas leak out. And just twist it right on. Now, if you haven't already pulled the legs out around, you can get that all ready. And then the way that you turn it on is you just twist the little control valve. You'll start to hear a little bit of gas, and then you strike the lighter. Now, I was really impressed that it has a very low, if you're going to be simmering food, or you could turn it up and have a very good flame coming off of it. And it has a great control with that valve of how much heat output you want. And so as far as the stove goes, very impressed. I do like to carry an additional little Bic lighter just in case something happened to that striker. So that's one thing that I keep with the kit is a little Bic lighter. But for convenience, this little one here so far has worked great. Now that we've broken this thing down to our heat source, a pot, and something to stir and eat with, let's make something. Today I'm going to boil up some water. We're going to make some sour cream and chive potatoes and some hot chocolate. So the first thing we want to do is get some water into our pot. And because of these gradients on this side, I know that the potatoes here need 2 cups. The hot chocolate needs 1 cup. So that's going to be 3 cups of water or 24 ounces. And so as I fill this up, I can actually see they've stamped it so that from me looking down inside it, I can actually see where I need to be as I fill that up with water. Okay, so we've got our water in there. Let's light back up the stove. Oh yeah, it worked again. We'll start off low, get the pot on there, and then we'll turn it up and see how it works. That is doing really good. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. Now I wanted to start a timer so that we can keep an eye on how it's doing and see how long it takes to boil 3 cups of water. To help conserve some energy, and help it to boil faster, I'm going to put a lid on there so that hopefully that process goes more quickly for us. Maybe I'll turn that up just a little bit. Okay. While this is coming to a boil, let me show you how we pack up this cook kit so that it all fits together. So let me bring this other one over. This is very similar, to what we have, or what we're currently looking at. But back when I built this kit, I purchased the BRS stove, which is just a small little titanium stove. So I'll take that off of there. So the first thing we do is we take our cap, I guess we'll use this cap, and put it on there, and then we'll put it down inside of the pot. We can fold up the pot arms like that. And then on the other side here, these are just a few different things that I like to have in there. At the time, this was a folding little spoon that I have, and like from GSI, which is a nice little compact spoon spork looking thing. Some Coleman camp soap, just a simple little way. These are just little sheets that are soap that you can put in the water, and they make some suds to help clean up your dishes. This is part of a scouring pad that I've cut up just to have a little section there to be able to clean the dishes. And again, just a little lighter. And so if we take those things along with our stove, and then this is just a little disposable camp towel or towel that I've used, and we can just fold up a little bundle and place it into the cap there. Fold up those arms and then place it all together inside there. Then we just take our bag and push it over the top. And now everything is nice and neat and contained for our cook kit inside of this one little container. Some of you may be wondering, how much does this weigh? And so I've got my scale here today, so we will put it on there and I will show you. So this, with a full can of fuel, weighs 1 pound, 9.2 ounces. So there you go. If that's what you're wondering, 1 pound, 9.2 ounces. So while I was talking, our boiling water, or our water came to a boil, and it took about 5 minutes and 24 seconds to get a nice rolling boil. So now, if we are trying to treat or purify this water, we just let this go for 1 minute and that'll take care of the impurities in there. But if this came from a clean source or you've already filtered it, then just hitting a boil will be ready to go. With our water hot, we are ready to put our meal together. If your meal looks more like a mountain house or one of these bag meals where you'll just be adding maybe 2 cups of hot water to it, you just pull the top and pour in the water, let it sit for 8, 9, 10 minutes, depending on what the package says, and then you'll be ready for your meal. If this is what you're looking to do, I will tell you that this spoon is not the right spoon for you. You will end up getting your fingers dirty or maybe your whole hand trying to scoop the food out. So if bag meals or mountain house freeze-dried meals are what you're doing, get a bigger spoon. With the meal that we're gonna make today, this spoon is gonna work great. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to pour off 1 cup of water. And so what's great is you can pour some and you can check inside there and see the measurement. I wish I could show you with the camera, but it doesn't quite look down inside there very well. So I'm trying to get down to 16 ounces, which is right where I'm at. And now we have 1 container for our hot chocolate. So we'll get that going. And then we'll have a second container for our potatoes. And these are great. This is actually a pretty big meal depending on how hungry you are. But if we just pour those in there and give them a stir, and then they just need to sit for 1 minute or so to soak back up. And then you can see where the spoon is. So I can get clear to the bottom of that and my fingers are still way above where the potatoes are. So we'll just let those sit there and then we'll come back and enjoy this meal. If you are new to this world, this is considered a 1-pot meal. And what that means is that we cook in the pot, we eat out of the pot, we clean it up, we put it away, and it's ready for the next meal. I hope that this idea I've shared with you today just helps you to realize how easy it is to have a cook system as part of your emergency preparedness gear. It's basically a fuel container and a stove. We have a pot. In this case, I guess we have 2 pots. I'm using 1 for my mug. And then a spoon that we use for stirring and also to eat with. It's not that complicated. It's very simple. And I just hope that that displayed how this system works for you. Before this gets cold, I'm going to eat my dinner. But once again, I'd like to thank you for your time and may God bless you as you prepare every needful thing. Thank you.